Hit the damn button already.
The button is already hit, D-Batch.
Oh, shoot.
What's going on, guys? It's Dealer here, back again with RDX Podcast. We have an absolutely stellar panel. And this is E3 week, so it's time to be hyped. We've got a ton of great topics, including all the things that are confirmed. And, of course, you know, we're going to talk about some things from some reliable sources, including Brad here himself. With some, get some little bit of fun with it. It's a week of E3, so I want to give a big shout out to everybody joining us early. Hit that like button, share this where you share things, and I want to start with some intros, and then we'll kind of get into some shout outs and do our usual thing. So, Brad Sams, how are you doing, sir? You're doing fabulously. You're on the show right now, and I want to thank you so much for showing up. Your link is down below, by the way. Anyone who wants to follow Brad, you can find his YouTube channel down below. But Brad, thanks for joining us, man.
It's going to be a good evening. It's going to be a good evening, gentlemen.
You've got some little nuggets for us here, huh?
Yeah,
that you've learned recently, right?
Yep, some stuff's coming in the past hour, 2 hours, and we'll dive into it.
Yes, but thank you so much once more for coming on, Fonzarelli, brother. How have you been? Thanks for joining us.
I've been great. I started a new channel. I just want to let people out there know I've got a new channel. I don't have my old one anymore. YouTube hated me on that one, so I'm fresh start here. The Grounded Gamer, you can find me there, and I'm making videos, content weekly, and I'm doing more videos than I ever did before, and I'm rejuvenated and I'm ready to go there. So I'm just happy to be here too and talk about E3, and Brad Sams is here. This is going to be an awesome show.
Yes, put your channel link in the chat, and I encourage every one of you guys to go subscribe and support Jay here. He does great stuff. Zalker87, how have you been, bud?
Doing great, man. Just brought out a video talking about my top 10 games coming to E3. I can't wait to look forward to, and I just want to see everything happening in E3, man. I'm just so excited. I want to go in a coma till Sunday, and then just wake up with popcorn in my hand and get ready to watch the damn.
Just wake up with piss all over your leg. Oh, what happened?
Hey, man,
you might want to think that one through a little bit more. That's all I'm saying. Colt
might not be
how you been, Colt? Yeah, thanks for joining us once again. The naughty dog of YouTube.
That never gets old. It's good to be on. It's crazy. I guess E3 is like a couple days away, and I'm not ready. So
you're going to E3?
Yeah, I'm going. We're gonna leave on Saturday. I'm not ready. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for joining us, D-Batch, the man with the goats. How you been, bud?
I've been good, man. This is my favorite time of year. All the tech information. We got E3 just around the corner, a few days away. And I got a bunch of new TVs in that I've been evaluating. So I'm in tech heaven, man. I'm good. I'm ready to go. We got some awesome topics. Brad's on the show. Let's do it, man.
Did you steal those from or did you get those from a man at Hardy's parking lot? Where'd you get those TVs, huh?
If I could tell you, I would, but if I did, I'd have to kill you. Sorry.
All right. I've already been killed 3 times this week by asking the same question, so I'm just gonna quit. And of course, last but definitely not least, one of my favorite additions ever, Tim Dog. Be sorry, Tim Dog. How have you been, sir?
I'm totally pumped up right now. I feel like it's E3. I'm in LA. I have that feeling. I'm very excited. If I stutter today and can't make coherent sentences, just because I'm that excited. I'm crazy to hear what Brad has to say in the next couple of minutes. This is tech heaven, like you said. This is time of year, Xbox heaven. This is what it's all about, and I'm ready to go right now. That's how pumped I am. Contrasting to the other years, this is nothing like this. I remember last year I was I till the end, and I was kind of pumped up for it. The year before that, I was kind of just going into it lackluster. But this year, wow, I cannot imagine what the landscape's going to look like this time next week.
It's proving to be quite exciting. Speaking of quite excited, Dominus and the Super Chat already best podcast on the net site for Microsoft press conference. Thank you so much, sir. We do come together like Captain Planet once a week and try to put on a podcast for you guys, and we do appreciate it.
Captain Planet.
Tim and I we're going to meet up at E3, and we're going to be at the front door on Wing B handing out free samples of Xbox body wash.
I'm sure somebody's making a video on that right now.
I think they would need Xbox deodorant there, because I've heard about what
yes.
Yeah, it's that whole thing is interesting. And I got to give a shout out to our moderators, Lethal, Obi-Wan, Woomy Hood, Biggie, all you guys. You guys are fantastic. Keep things in line. Of course, once more, you guys are awesome. I got to give a shout out as well to the patrons that power the channel. Starting with Scout Trooper 74. We've also got Patman. We've Patman Gaming. His link's down below. Check him out. He made a good video today. Centurion at legionofgamer.com. Really good content creator as well. Obi-Wan. We've also got this one's weird. It's like a L3L Lelac. I don't know exactly how to pronounce that one. We've also got Real Deal Neil. Thank you so much, sir. We got Suicide King. We've got Captain Redbeard. We've also got, this list is growing here. I'm going to figure out a different way to do this. Prime Suspect. We got Michael Bowen. We've also got Channing Pennington and Guillermo Cavillo. Thank you guys so much for doing what you do. You guys are absolutely fantastic. And you know what? We're still letting people stream in. It's going to be a big show, Brad. We're still letting people stream in. We're already at 500 people. If you're here, hit that like button. We do appreciate it. Share this where you share things. We're going to let the chat continue to file in and talk about, just for a minute, because we have to, because it's extremely weird, Death Stranding. Brad, I want your take on this because there's been a lot of hype around this game. The last trailer told us almost nothing except he delivers dead bodies on his back to places. I don't, but I'm buying this game, and as a consumer, I need to see more personally before I'm excited or hyped for this game at all. What are your thoughts on Death Stranding?
I'm always in favor of new games. It's one of the best part of being a gamer, right? It's something's new's coming down the pipeline. As long as it's a quality game, it looks interesting. We'll see how it shakes out, though. I've been jaded too many times in the past where you see a game and you kind of get hyped about it, and then it shows up and it flops. But this one looks. We'll see how this one shakes out.
Hey, real quick, I think Tim Doug has some feedback here. Some
Yeah.
A little wobbling around. Sounds like you're juggling in the background. He's so excited he's shaking.
I thought I was muted. I thought I was muted. I'm just writing a tweet.
Okay.
Jesus, that was a tweet?
Yeah, that was an actual tweet on a keyboard.
Shut up, Zocker. I had to listen to you typing your video last night.
Yeah. So basically, Brad, you're curious, cautious, curious, and excited at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one by Kojami? Isn't that
Kojami? Yes, that's him.
Yeah. So
I like that name better, Brad. I think that's what we're going to call him from now on.
I am if I have one missing part of my brain, it's pronouncing names. It is that and figuring out how to take hotel showers. Those two things in my life are
you just don't take a shower the whole time you're gone. That's
looking at the toilet. How?
So yeah, his Hideo Kojima.
Yes, that.
Wait, you have to say it before we move on.
Oh my god, you're gonna put this on
Kojami.
Him? Oh yeah, Kojami. So you're cautiously excited, but you got to see more, right?
Yeah, I mean, just remember, nobody goes and puts out marketing material that makes the game look like crap, right? And so you always got to be cautious about it. I've been burned a lot of times, but I'll see if this one gets me to fire the PlayStation back up.
Yep. Well said. It comes out November 8th. Anyone else kind of got any thoughts on the glowing fetus in the jar?
First of all, that DLC. I'm sorry, man.
DLC. What are you talking about?
Not the DLC. The pre-order special of that
the huge collector edition.
And it's sold out instantly. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
But I gotta disagree. I think that's the best part of that, whole collection is that fetus in the jar. I mean, that's amazing.
God. Weird.
I think
weirdest thing I've ever
was a real baby. That's why they bought it so quick.
And the trailer was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Honestly, tell you, I'm just as confused from the first time I saw this game till now. I have no details on this game. All I can tell is that he's some type of delivery agent for the government or something, and that's all I really got from the story. It looks great. The graphics look fantastic, but it's just kind of weird.
Sounds like you're talking shit, D.
He throws he throws out a ladder to climb a mountain. Like, who the hell climbs a mountain?
And by the way, he pulled the ladder out of his ass. That was one thing. He just popped it out and he was like, "Hey, let me climb this mountain real quick." Which at this point, you should be on Cirque du Soleil if you can do that.
You guys gotta quit hating.
What the fuck is going on? Well, we've had 25 minutes of trailer, right? Like footage and all this stuff, and we still don't know what the fuck's happening. We had a baby give us a thumbs up in his throat.
What do you mean? I don't understand why. I don't understand why people say this. I don't know what's going on with Death Stranding. That's the whole point of it. Like, you're supposed to be thrown into this world not knowing what in the heck is tracking you. Like, it's supposed to be some fourth dimensional or time traveling, like other dimension creature that you don't know what it is. It's part of the
I get that. I get what you're saying, Colt, and I think that's pretty cool. I think honestly, like that part, like the beings that we don't know anything about, I think that's the most intriguing part to me, not the babies, but to me, I want to see some actual gameplay. All we have is him walking, climbing, ladder out the ass, and then dodging 3 guys awkwardly.
That's not okay. He also did a wheelie on a motorcycle on a patch of grass.
Oh, he did.
You guys are disrespecting this game. I mean, look, you can talk about ladders out the ass and babies in a jar, plugging into them and all that stuff, but
like a game
sold out, baby.
But the thing is like Colt's right. This is supposed to be a game you're not supposed to get from the trailer. However, it's Kojima, and Kojima has been known not to make much sense in some of his games. Right. And this is the problem I may have with this game. I'm going to get it, okay, because I'm a loser that way, and I'm going to buy all these games. But anyway, I'm going to get the game, and if I don't understand the game by the end of the game, I'm going to be really upset. That's what will upset me about this game, because the gameplay, the way it looks, the visuals, it looks incredible. It just, it's got to make sense to me. And I think that's where I'm going to have a problem with this game.
Well, to the end of the game, or are you going to like go 10 hours in and get annoyed? Or are you going to wait till you beat the entire game before you make your judgment? Like, you know what I'm saying? Well, like, you're going to start getting annoying like in the middle?
Sometimes stories don't unfold all the way until the very end. And I'm cool with that. But the thing is if it does not make sense by the very end, I'm pissed.
Metal Gear Solid 4 is like one of the best games of like the past 20 years. It's way up there. And I just got to say, and I know people won't like this, but like when I was sitting watching that trailer for the first time, I was sitting there thinking, man, when is the last time Xbox has got me this excited? This got like the hair standing up on the back of my neck, and like the emotion and the energy of like this coming into this story, like all this production value. They showed all these actors and everything. I'm like, geez, where's this? Like, when do we get one of these like on Xbox? Like, and I know the game's weird, and I got turned off from Metal Gear Solid 5 halfway through it. Got really wacko in the story, and I'm like, look, I don't like this sort of thing. That sort of thing actually will get me away from a game. And if Death Stranding has too much of that, I'll end up getting like, oh gosh, I'll go through the same thing that you're talking about, Fonz. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the production values are through the roof, and I just know no matter what, this game's going to get all the nominations for Game of the Year. It's going to be on the contender, and it doesn't have much competition this year.
Gears 5, Fraud.
Yeah, I was about to say Gears 5, man.
Okay.
Rumple Foreskin, $2.
I did see a glimmer of hope in the gameplay, though. They had like a Call of Duty kind of zombie mode. I don't know. I saw them shooting those like soldiers, and
I think that was the Underrealm, and that was kind of one of the problems with the game. And I don't want to stay on this too long because I'm already bored. But I don't. The shooting in the game looked really rough to me. If you go back and kind of slow that World War I scene down, where he's in the underworld realm or whatever, it's all very weird. But that's kind of Kojima, so I think it's going to get a lot of praise from a certain group, and to others that were kind of lost when the kids started flying around with the straitjacket in Metal Gear Solid 5. You probably aren't going to be a big fan of the game. Y9 Power says, yo, dealer, the E3 coverage has arrived. Basically, thank you so much, Y9 Power. You are awesome. We do appreciate it. What did you say about Rumple's? Did you say about
Rumple Foreskin? He gave us $2, and he says, hello.
Hello, Rumple Foreskin. With that pixelated.
You know what?
That picture's pixelated.
You mentioned World War I in that scene when he's shooting. It was rough in World War I, okay? Give it a break. It was rough.
Yeah, the barely worked because they didn't have very good technology. Yeah, yep. I don't know about all that. But Death Stranding, I mean, it is weird. It's gonna be a big presence later this year. We'll see. Apparently it's been in development for less than 3 years. They moved everything over to the Decima engine to speed that up, which is the Horizon Zero Dawn engine, and that's what we got. So we'll see how that goes. Hey, I've got to give a shout out to over 700 people watching already, guys. Hit that like button, share this where you share things. we have got a very interesting topic, and I want Brad to jump into this one. But basically, Brad, you talked about Xcloud being potentially much more powerful than we initially thought, and the Halo Infinite gameplay details, stuff like that on Thurrett.com, right?
Yeah. Well, there's more than that, gentlemen. There is more than
So
that.
go ahead and drop some nice information here.
All right. So why don't we kick it off with Gears?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, everybody likes Gears. So Gears 5 is codenamed Halifax. For anybody who's seen anything with the word Halifax in it, know that that is what's that?
TurboTax.
No, TurboTax with Halifax. Anyways, so we all know that was coming, right? I think Gears 5 even tweeted out from their account like, "We'll see you at E3." Interesting things I think happening with Mixer in Gear 5. I think they're going to have some like really deep integrations. I think this is going to might be a theme across some of the upcoming first party stuff, but I've definitely heard that Gears 5 will have a lot of Mixer integration where you can like interact with people and things along that line. Also, co-op is going to be, I think, a big thing in Gears 5, which has me super pumped because while I love all this online stuff, co-op is where I kind of love, just because it's fun to just grab a buddy, grab some beers, and go, kill some monsters.
Mean? Like they're gonna have co-op, like they're doing something special with co-op, because of course they're gonna have co-op, right?
So it said, what I was told is that every game mode will support co-op. So like Horde mode will have co-op, and every game mode will support it. I wish I had like all
maybe
the
they're trying something new with co-op, like they're trying to add more co-op than ever in across the board, maybe.
Yeah. And so we've got deeper Mixer integration, and I've heard that they're trying to push the boundaries, and I suspect that is related to the Mixer stuff, where they're trying to allow like fans to make it much more enjoyable rather than just like we've all watched people stream games, right? I think they're trying to like really take streaming to the next generation with this title, and so it's going to be interesting to see what they're doing there. But some people are really hyped about it internally.
So Gears 5, we know it's going to be a big, massive game. They're taking some risks. They got kind of like an open world type setup, potentially some customization. The story looks crazy. What about these Halo Infinite details?
So Halo Infinite, this is what I heard, and it comes from a pretty reliable person. So Halo Infinite has been in development for a while. We've known this. Last year they really teased it and just kind of basically showed off that nice little fancy graphics and all that stuff, but they didn't really show anything. They just showed, hey, here's a Halo helmet walking or whatever. I believe we're going to see a trailer. I think it's going to be a first party trailer, and then I believe we're going to see some gameplay. And what I was told about the gameplay is that it's actually going to be running on a PC behind the curtains with an Xbox controller, mostly because this is going to be like the first real look, if you will, at Halo Infinite. The first time we're going to kind of see it other than those fancy renderings or cutscenes or whatever you want to call them. And because of that, they want to show it off on what is closer to next generation hardware, because it apparently looks really damn good that way. And they don't want to show it off on an Xbox One X, even though it will work on that, but they want to show it off in the best possible light.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like hearing that, man.
So this thing's going to have... this PC is going to have minimum like 11, 12 teraflops, and who knows what ungodly specs to kind of simulate the optimization you might get for a console next gen, right?
Yep. Yeah.
That's
here's
very interesting.
That's what I want to hear, man. That's what I want to see too. Oh my god,
man! Like 7 Okas and some tessellations thrown in there, right, Fonz?
Yeah, I've been saying that they need to just start showing some of these games on next gen hardware. I mean, this is what will get people pumped for next gen. That's just next year. I mean, that's not far away. So it's about time.
Brad, real quick, do you think they open with Infinite, or like they did last time, or maybe somewhere in the middle?
I heard that they were going to, but that was several weeks or months ago. So the easiest thing to change in the world is the E3 lineup presentation. Yeah. And so I wish I had full Spencer slide deck that said everything that was going to be announced, but unfortunately I do not. But it's definitely going to be shown off there. That's what I'm confident of.
Super psyched. We're going to talk about a lot of things throughout this show, but regarding Xcloud, you're saying that it could be potentially far more powerful than maybe those SKUs are going to be ready faster than you think. The Anaconda SKUs.
You know, I don't quite know when Anaconda is going to come online. I've seen documentation that says next year is when they're going to start putting the blades in the server. One of the things that I didn't write in my post is that apparently Xcloud has a couple different modes. This shouldn't be all that surprising, but I officially saw it, that there's going to be like a Lockhart mode and then an Anaconda mode, which basically I think is going to be allowing the user to pick which kind of stream they want, right? If you have a really good connection, you can pick like Lockhart. If you want the full kit and caboodle, you'll be able to pick the Anaconda stream.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's not going to be like one size pick all. Like I think you're going to have that custom type of game you're going to stream at the resolution that makes sense, so you're not wasting bandwidth. Or if you're just on a lower end connection, that you can be like, look, I know I can't play at 4K, let's play at 720p or 1080p tonight.
So here's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to put dev kits in the blades, and those dev kits have all of those performance profiles, like with the X, right? And depending on whatever version of the game you try to play or you're choosing to play, then it's going to run on that performance profile with the dev kit. I think, Brad.
I mean, it's not.
You're breaking up pretty bad, Brad.
Thought.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe back out and jump back in. You're breaking up pretty bad.
That's Phil Spencer's message today. He's got to shut up.
But yeah, if you think about it, like with the Xbox One X, you know, it had 3 different systems in one box: base Xbox, the S, the X. You hit a button, it goes to each performance profile. And from what he's saying, you got multiple modes with Xcloud eventually, at least. And they could solve that by, you know, just sticking one of those dev kits in there, or producing more of that dev kit type hardware and unlocking those performance profiles. Right? What do you think about that, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, it's down the line. I think it's possible. It definitely sounds like. I wish Brad could come back because I have some questions for him. It definitely sounds like.
Can you hear me?
Yes. You hear?
Yeah, ask him.
Oh, okay.
He fed the hamster.
No, I mean, you wrote that you were the Xbox is going to be the most powerful. They were going to beat the 10.7. What do you have on that? Like, what kind of information is that? The Anaconda in the cloud per se, or is it something where they're combining a connection, making it stronger than the 10.7 T flops?
Yeah. So I don't know the raw T flops of Anaconda in the cloud. I just asked, I said, hey, how does it compare to Stadia? And they said it is more powerful. And that is what I know at the chorus level. So
we're above to 10.7. We know that.
That answers Jason Block's question in the super chat. It says, how much better would the next Xbox be than the X? The X is at 6 teraflops. According to this, they're going to be running those Anaconda Xbox blades in their servers, and that's how they're going to stream it to you. And if that's more powerful than 10.7 teraflops, that means no matter what, the next Xbox is more powerful than 10.7 teraflops.
Yeah. So why did they allude several months ago that they were going to fill these blades with S's, with Xbox One S's, but now
they're doing that too?
Yeah,
so they're going to have like a mix. So that's how you were talking about the different tiers.
Yeah, they're going to have different tiers. I think Google Stadia is doing something similar like that as well, right? Where you can actually scale up to 2 GPUs. So I don't see why Microsoft wouldn't be ahead of the curve on that as well. So it makes sense to me.
Brad, do you know anything about like the price point, if they're going to be charging more for the Anaconda than they would like a Lockhart, kind of like how Netflix charges you for 4K?
I don't know on the streaming side yet. I have not heard. All I know is that they are. Here's the thing. Microsoft may not even know the answer yet, to be honest. They likely have ideas. And this is the easiest way to tell. If somebody here's the performance.
You should reconnect.
I know it's fake immediately.
You turn it into an Autobot during the podcast.
All right,
you should disconnect from the podcast and come back in.
Yeah, it takes 2 seconds. Rand says, I want everyone to know the Dealer Game tells late afternoon lies. Where's that coming from, Rand? You Fable 4 leak having motherfucker.
Oh, hey, watch your mouth.
I know Rand's fucking with me. I'm just kidding. Jeez.
Every curb stopped the shit out of it.
No, I'm just wondering like where that came from. Is that Rand's little thing he just made up or what?
It's just his little joke. Yeah, he's saying,
Every time you guys bring up Blades, I always think about the UI from many moons ago on the
on 360. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty crazy. I know that Brad talked about 2 times the teraflop, 2 times the power of X, and roughly 4 pound times the S. So it does sound like it's kind of matching up to that one, even though it was a rumor, but the 11.1 and the 5 point or the 4.98. But this is crazy. This time of year is just I can't even talk. I'm waiting for Brad to come back. I don't know where he is.
Hey, David Robinson super chat says Xbox and E3 plus RDX coverage, post coverage. Tim Dog and Colt on site. It's going to be an amazing event. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, it is going to be an amazing event. I need to check and see if Brad is back here.
That's crazy that Google Stadia had that
now.
big. They had real quick. They had that big moment where they said how many teraflops of power they had that was over the X and the Pro, and then
Combined.
Microsoft's going to turn around and go, well, you guys had that for a couple months.
Yeah, they're going to say, "Hold my beer," and just.
All right, let's do a test for Brad. Brad, give us a dissertation.
Autobots, roll out.
Well, we're going to get all the information on Google Stadia this Thursday. Anyways, they're going to address it. I think we're going to hear the prices and I guess the different tiers that they're going to have available and the requirements. So we're going to find out soon enough.
Hey, Rand was telling me he thought he saw something about the next WB Montreal Batman game being on that stage. Not that it's exclusive, but they could debut that Batman game there, which is a poor choice in my opinion.
Please happen. I don't care. I just want to see it.
All right, Brad, are you also shout out to George Driver for the buck in the super chat. Thank you so much. Brad, are you back? You good?
I hope so. I'm hoping I'm back.
All right. I don't remember what we were talking about now, though.
We were talking about the power in the cloud, and he was saying a dev kit, and we were just we were asking type of questions.
Yeah, so they've got Xbox One S blades in there right now because that's the easiest and that's the best known quantity. Right, you start easy and then you ramp up the complexity, and so that's why they've got that stuff now. They'll start rolling out the next gen stuff, I believe, in a little over a year is when they'll start trialing that.
So they're planning on having that fidelity ready at around the same time the actual console is ready.
That is, yes, I want to say yes to that. But with the caveat that everything is going to be dependent on how well these trials go, because they're not going to say, hey, let's dump more resolution into it if they're having trouble at 720p. But as soon as they get comfortable, then they'll just keep ratcheting it up. And once they get comfortable at 1080p, then they'll ratchet it up.
I mean,
again.
even PlayStation now does 720p.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we didn't get to hear your take on the PlayStation Microsoft Azure thing. You definitely think that they're going to be using that to leverage streaming in a better light and kind of they're literally paying Microsoft to help bring their games to more devices, correct?
Yep. Yeah, and it's a smart move. I know that there's that fierce rivalry, but for Sony, it's a business decision that says PlayStation will be better off running on Azure than it would be on any other cloud. And so that's why they do it. And yes, it's a little awkward because it's Microsoft and there's Xbox, but at the same time, it's going to be a better product for Sony at the end of the day. Now,
in regards to this memorandum, this is basically them saying, hey, this is what we plan on doing. This is why we've announced it, correct?
Yep.
All right.
And so the really interesting thing about that, I don't know if you guys caught the Bloomberg post, but apparently the PlayStation group inside of Sony did not know this was happening.
Yes, did see that.
Yes.
Okay, a good chunk of them had no clue.
I'd say all.
I wonder how they felt that day, because that's a big slap in the face, because I know that division is heavily competitive against Microsoft, so that had to be a big blow to them.
Maybe they thought they were heavily competitive. I mean, in the cloud division, I don't know about that.
Not in the cloud division. Just that division was it just specifically the cloud division or the PlayStation division completely?
I think it was the developers and the game developers and stuff like that. People that were just making the games. I don't think they knew. They kind of didn't see it coming. I think that's what we're talking about.
And that is kind of a blow, because I know some of these guys, they take pride. Sony is a very prideful company, and they had to be shocked to hear that news, to be honest with you.
Well, for what it's worth, I heard that the Microsoft employees did not know either. So aside from maybe Phil, who kind of I heard was orchestrated the deal. It wasn't talked about on either side. When it tends to get to the CEO level type thing, it's not, there's no leaks, and it looks like Phil is really a guy that's keeping leaks. So I'm hot knock on wood, but I heard that none of the Xbox division, Microsoft, knew anything about the thing. They were blindsided as well. It's just that they weren't in the business. It's obviously a positive for them. They're like, hey, look, our product is appreciated. But for Sony, there's definitely guys there that were upset.
Phil Dominus. Where's that at? Where's that at, Tim? That energy, that Phil Dominus energy.
I'm gonna be there. I'm just right now. I'm just so excited. I can't even I'm shaking. Like it's like this is not shaking, but I mean, just totally I'm on edge, waiting for just the news to drop. You know what I mean? I just cannot wait for this news to drop. I want to learn finally about Xcloud. Learn all the stuff that finally find out about. Everything that we've been talking about for 6 months. So it's right now. It's a crazy time.
Yeah. Shout out to Fuzzy Belvedere. We've also got FC Violent. We've also got a couple super chats. Mo Cool Kid said, "Thanks, team. Keep it real, gang." Yes, we will do. And of course, George Driver had to give S chats to the best gaming podcast. Thank you so much. We do appreciate. That's all opinion, by the way. But we do appreciate that opinion. Also, shout out to Noof and Lethal and Jake and all you guys. Can't keep up. Also, they did. Phil did recently talk about Game Pass, and it's kind of coming for PC and stuff like that. We think that there's going to be some kind of subscription divide with Ultimate giving you access to the PC stuff, but otherwise you want to have access. It's 2 different subscriptions, but keep in mind there's kind of 2 different libraries. So, Xbox Game Pass is going to be releasing on PC. Games like Gears of War 5 are going to Steam. Brad, a lot of people are kind of losing their crap here. I mean, I personally, we've been talking about this forever. You got to try to get to as many people as possible. That's kind of the end game for both Microsoft and Sony. I feel like it's more obvious than it could possibly be. Why is it that you think this is kind of hard to accept for people?
I don't quite know, to be honest, because the big thing that's coming out of Game Pass here for the PC is there's going to be this new Garrison application, with Microsoft prime that up. I wrote about it last week, and then today Microsoft says, hey, we're running the Xbox app on the Windows 10 PC with this, and then they're like, there's a new experience coming. I don't know why people get so bent out of shape when they hear that games are going to be on both platforms. Microsoft pitches to developers when they say, hey, come build for the Microsoft platform. They mean Xbox and PC, because they will reach a larger set of gamers, which is a huge incentive for getting scoops,
which is the only thing developers care for, right? Like they do not care. It's only for Xbox. They don't care, right? They want it to be on everything. If they had a choice, they want to sell more. Mm-hmm. Which we just kind of try to get that across to people, and people are like, well, they're getting our games, but what are we getting? And that's a tough one to answer, because you're really getting what you pay.
I think you're getting more games, I think is the answer. Is because if people are building a Windows 10 game, it's going to work on the next gen Xbox. So you're actively get more games.
Yeah.
What puzzles me is, like you guys, why is everyone upset about this? The more people that play the game, the more support you're going to have for that game, the more games we're going to get, the more people we can play with online. It's a good thing.
Because console war, D. Come on, these soldiers need to fight.
It's a very good thing. People who try to dissect things like that and find bad with it, they're basically a lost cause. Especially if this is added with the rumor that it's going to be a part of Ultimate at no extra additional cost for $14.99 a month. That's a really good deal, and that entices me, a guy that doesn't play that much on PC, to actually play on PC and maybe test out some RTSs. I'm all in. I think it's a great thing for gamers, and I think the gamers that try to dissect the shit and say it's bad because they're probably console warriors, just need to shut the fuck up.
And I just have to say, shameless plug, but tomorrow I have a video coming out about this. Just
Shameless
Good.
plug.
I'll be watching that one.
I'm pretty sure that the Ultimate does include the PC Game Pass, because I was trying to sign up for it, but unfortunately I was late. But for $1, the insiders, they got the Ultimate Game Pass, and that included Game Pass for the PC, Xbox Live, and all that. And they were able to stack it up to 36 months. So they got 36 months of Ultimate Game Pass for $1.
I think Ultimate does get the PC Game Pass and the console Game Pass, but we know why they're going to PC. I mean, Sony said it. It's niche. Console gaming is niche, so they have to expand and go out to PC gaming. I mean, I know it's different libraries, but if you look at the PC landscape, there's not that many good PC developers out there left.
Yeah.
Blizzard was kind of like the last one to me, and so was Valve. Valve hasn't made anything in God knows when, since I was like 3. And Blizzard was
Microsoft, right?
Huh? What's up?
And then there's Relic, who are already working with Microsoft, right?
Yeah, then there's Relic Entertainment, who makes amazing RTSs, Company of Heroes, games like that I adore. And then Blizzard was just annihilated by Activision. So I think Microsoft kind of sees this as an opportunity where they can get people to make games for both platforms, PC and Xbox, and just double dip in that and actually expand what PC is used to. Like getting Age of Empires 4, which is an RTS, is going to be huge if they hit the right tones with it. So I'm just looking forward to it. I just want to see what they're going to do with RTSs and games that a lot of people don't really give a chance, but are just great experiences altogether.
And two, if you're paying for a game on one platform, you're still paying the same $60. It's just unlocked for you on other platforms. So if you can stream it, or if you got a PC as well, maybe you don't have a PC now, but you'll get one in a year or two, maybe for work. But you already have all those Play Anywhere games that you paid for on Xbox free to you on that platform as well. It's not a negative. That's what I'm trying to say. And as Brad said, I think it's a great point. PC games coming to Xbox, that's been a thing. Windows, UWP's helped that. GameCore is going to help that. And ultimately, Brad, you see Sony trying to go this exact same route, trying to get all their games to different devices. We try to hammer this into certain people's heads, but they're not having it. Like Sony are trying to do the same thing.
Yes.
Yep.
1,000.
The only thing I would correct about what everybody said so far is that
hey,
it's
we
definitely not a,
hey, we
it's
do
definitely not a rumor.
people watching, guys. Hit that like button.
1,008.
We got 1,008 apparently. Hit that like button. Maybe share this somewhere as we let Brad kind of continue. I mean, I just feel like it's very obvious. Sony wants the same thing Microsoft do. Right, Brad?
The bot got him.
The bot got
Microsoft sent the ninja.
All right, you guys.
You know, is that Google's? He's back.
I think he's back.
Brad?
Oh, can you guys not hear me?
Bradley!
Uh-oh.
Timmy, relax.
We can hear you now.
Oh, wow.
We can hear you now.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Sorry, you guys want some
All right, we can hear you now.
fresh material?
Yeah, we want some fresh.
Yes, at 1,000.
You guys can hear me?
Some more cheese on this bitch. Let's go.
Oh,
All right,
Jesus.
let's drop it. So this comes from a source. This came in the 2 hours. I haven't been able to verify it, but this person would know. They're saying we're going to see Elite V2 controller on Sunday.
Wow.
Which is good.
Wow, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
I want to. I mean, I've been waiting for one. I've been waiting for one for a while, honestly.
So, and that Elite V2 is going to feature like USB-C, internal battery, anything like that.
Did we drop a little nugget about a controller? Like, I don't want to hear that.
Is it going to have a touch screen and a light bar?
Is it going to last more than 5 hours outside of
motion controls?
So do you think this controller is going to have an internal rechargeable battery?
It might. It depends if it's the same thing that leaked like 18 months ago. If you remember, guys, that one.
Yes, I think they redefined it. Maybe they did some tweaks.
They use better glue. But it's.
Man, Brad's internet just has
his connection.
Oh, we love it.
L5.
It's struggling today, Brad.
He's fighting those invisible monsters from Death Stranding. Get your ladder out, climb the mountain.
Oh man!
Brad, what about signing? What about jumping out and signing in? Try that.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
I'm gonna try.
Thank you.
I'm gonna do that.
Transform and roll out.
Okay, well, somebody keep an eye on the Google.
We can bring Mike Ibarra in for a little bit till Brad's ready.
The real one or the fake one? Which one?
Yeah, I got Phil coming in right now. So
Yeah, Phil coming in. Yeah. Gamebred says, about time we had 1,000 people in here. Y'all deserve it. Thank you so much. But yeah, somebody keep an eye on the Google chat and let me know when Brad jumps back in here. But yeah, Gears 5 coming to Steam, stuff like that. No big surprise. They're not going to bring Master Chief Collection to Steam if they're not going to bring everything else to Steam, right? So you kind of connect the dots. Also, there was a super fake Fable 4 leak today. This isn't real, so it's not a spoiler. But basically, it was like Albion got destroyed by a meteor, and then they escaped through a demon door. And then it was like it was just way out there. Like you could build settlements and all kinds of stuff. Anybody else hear about this?
Yeah, it didn't. It sounds like a Rand kind of video, right?
A late afternoon
fired.
Late afternoon lie.
Yes, it was definitely. Let's see here. Hang on.
It's an afternoon fib. Stop it.
Afternoon fib. DB83RX says, "Sup guys? Let's get that E3 hype going. Great show. You guys are the best podcaster. We're getting a lot of those lately. Thank you so much. Yes, we do try.
But does the panel think that we are going to see Fable at E3 though?
Yeah, yeah. I think
I'm still a yes. I mean, I'm still a firm yes on that.
I think we'll get like a title screen. I don't think we'll get anything else. I think they'll save like the gameplay, kind of like I think they'll do what they did with Halo last year, show it, and then next year maybe show some gameplay, and then the year after it'll come out. That's what I think. I think that's kind of the plan.
I mean, it definitely isn't coming out this year.
No, definitely, and I don't think it's coming out next year either.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. Brad's back.
All right, is this working?
Yes,
I think so. Yeah, I think
Timmy's off the chain right now.
yeah. Phil Dominus.
So
Elite Controller V2, perhaps internal. We know they have a version of the Xbox controller right now in the labs with USB-C and all that.
Yep.
They just haven't released it, right?
Yep.
And you're thinking this is going to be kind of a true successor with all that stuff in there.
Well, so what I heard is that it's codenamed Delphi, DELPHI. And a couple people had recognized that name and said, hey, I think this is coming at E3. I can't like exclusively 100% like promise to eat a shoe if it doesn't happen, verify it. But this comes from people who would know. And this came in late, and it came with enough additional supporting material to make me think that this is happening. But the marketing material says 30 plus improvements. And then there's a whole kind of strategy around getting positive press that it's not just a refresh, but it's more like a rebuild, if you will. So it's looking legit.
I'm interested.
They're using Gorilla Glue on the grips now instead.
Honestly, I'm not really interested in controllers at E3. I'm not. I am. Maybe I'm in the minority here, but
didn't they debut the last controller there? The last Elite, I think.
Well, if they close the show on it, I'd be upset. But if it's going to be if it's going to be a part of the show and they have 30 other announcements, I'm still very happy about it. You know.
Yeah, there's a lot of other announcements too. I think they're going to be making some changes to gamer tags as well. I think they're going to give us some more options around that.
Like shit emoji, II, space dealer.
like the ability to actually change it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's going to get easier, and I think you're going to have. I don't quite know what the more options are, but I'm hedging that it's more like a user profile page where you have different display options, like maybe using your real name if you want, so everybody can actually call your mom rather than just threaten to.
Do you think we'll know if we're going to have a price for Xcloud, if there is a price?
You know, what's going to be interesting is Google's going to announce their pricing on Thursday. I don't know if Microsoft will or not. I have not heard. In pricing things, especially because they're only doing a public beta this year, might still be a bit early.
Do you think there will always be a charge involved, or do you think it's something that they could just build into their ecosystem and say it's a part of our being with Microsoft?
Look at Tim with the journalist questions. Damn.
Yeah, I think they'll build it into the ecosystem. I think that's the right way to do it. So, we'll see what they have up their sleeves for this stuff. I've heard that they wanted to show a demo off in somebody's house, like outside the venue, like a real world scenario. I don't know if that's still happening, but that was one of the things like on the drawing board to be like, look, this needs to be shown off not just on a stage in a canned world. Let's show people like playing on Comcast
Right.
or
Let's
something.
move that right stick this time.
It's Cliffy B. It's Cliffy B at his house.
What? Yeah, Batman says, I love the Elite controller, favorite controller of all time. Will not buy it if it's not forward compatible with Anaconda. Do not worry about compatibility. And it's definitely compatibility is something Microsoft have been preaching, and all of your headsets, all of your controllers. Think of it as a better PC. All stuff you already bought works with a better PC, right? So it's kind of going to be that type of forward compatibility. I don't think that's going to be an issue at all, but ultimately we will see. Brad, anything else in particular that you might want to touch on and kind of tell 1,000+ people here today?
So if you look at what's on the table for E3 this year, like Microsoft could have just sat back and be like, Sony's not there. Let's just kind of just waffle about a bit, but they're absolutely not doing that. I mean, like just lay the lands out, right? They're going to have 14 games. I'm hearing that like there's going to be 3 brand new IPs coming at it. We're going to see State of Decay 2 DLC, Forza Horizon 2 DLC. We're going to see Gears 5. We're going to see Halo Infinite. We're going to see Xcloud. We're going to see Anaconda and Lockhart information. We're going to see Game Pass on the PC. I mean, that is a hell of an event just right there in itself.
Without the third party, which people forget, E3 is not a show where it's exclusives only. Only that matters, right? We've had multiplats close so many big shows, it's ridiculous. We know Microsoft going to bring more first party though. Yep. So I mean, Fonz in particular, what do you think they need to bring to kind of drop the hammer? You don't want the controller stuff. I hear you on that.
New IPs, man. I've been screaming for that. New IPs, and I'm not talking the Lucky Tales IPs. I'm talking
no Lucky Tales.
No, I'm talking mature IPs. I'm talking AAA IPs. I'm talking, something along the lines of, I hate to say it this way, but like a Sony game. They need a third person action adventure game. Along the same lines as like, Uncharted or any of those things. Of course, I don't want it completely the same, but I just need them to start making games that appeal to a wider audience and appeal to me. It just needs to happen, man. We need to.
I don't think you said anything wrong there. I think you're right. Like they should definitely produce some more mature narrative-driven IPs like Gears 5 is going to be, I think.
Yeah, I'm excited for Gears 5. I'm excited for Gears 5. I think it's going to be a lot of people are out there saying that Gears 5 is just going to be the same old trash, blah blah blah. I'm like, first of all, Gears isn't trash. Second, this Gears 5, they're promising some changes here. And everything from what we're seeing we saw very little of it so far, but everything that I'm seeing and hearing about, it sounds like they're going to make good on that promise. I think we're going to get a special Gears here, and I'm really excited for it.
But it's just another Gears, Fonz.
Yeah, I know.
Right? So, I mean, at the same time, there's definitely more of other IPs out there. I don't understand the hate, but I guess I don't know. With the next Xboxes, Brad, you expect it to be kind of like an Xbox One X reveal where they kind of let you know what's coming, tell you, hey, relax, this is the fastest kit you can get when it comes out. Yep. Anything like that?
Yeah, it's so Microsoft has just very recently started getting like sampled chips from AMD. And so one of the easiest ways to pull out a leak, and I got some good information about this, that if anybody's out there like quoting clock speeds and T-flops and all that stuff, it's fake. Like it's absolutely fake because Microsoft have targets on that stuff. Mm-hmm. But you guys got to remember, we're more than a year away from this stuff hitting retail shelves. There's so much time for them where they need to get the chips, they need to optimize the drivers, they need to get the correct chips too. Just because AMD is making them doesn't mean that they're all going to be at a minimum spec. So there's so many things that have to happen before Microsoft arrives at a final lock spec list between now and when it ships. And so I think it's going to be more of like a soft reveal. They're going to talk about Navi. They're going to talk about solid state drives. They're going to talk potentially about PCIe 4.0. They're going to talk about the Zen 2 architecture, because all that stuff is, yes, we've leaked about it and talked about it, but Microsoft hasn't officially confirmed all that. And I think they're going to dribble out just enough
going to start talking about things like, hey, we're going to target 4x times the performance for the Lockhart and maybe 2x for Anaconda performance. But I'm not expecting them to come out and say, hey, this is going to be 13.2 T-flops and then, meet that requirement. I don't think they're quite there yet.
Do you think it's one of their objects to beat Sony to have the most powerful console?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
That is, I've seen it written in multiple places and multiple Microsoft documents that they intend on trying to have the most powerful high-end console.
And when they say try, that means we are going to have the fastest console.
Yeah. The reason why I say try is because we don't know. Sony hasn't said what their T-flops are. So in theory, they could have some crazy thing up their sleeve. But you got to remember, they're all buying parts essentially from the AMD parts bin. So it's going to come down to certain characteristics of the device. But Microsoft intends to have the most powerful console because it's the best marketing and they have the cash flow and the ability to do it.
Mm-hmm. And they know what Sony's capable of developing because they are limited to the same AMD architectures as Sony. They know what they could possibly do for what price point. And that means they know what Sony can do for what price point. So question is, who will take a loss if there is one at all, and who will go like proprietary kind of secret sauce type stuff to improve their architecture. Lady Foxfire says Gears 5 day one buy. I agree. Maybe even before day one, actually. Maybe even before.
Pretty soon.
Yeah, it's looking really, really good. ASQD Gaming, thank you so much for the 20. He says never have time to listen live, but thought I would drop in and say hi. Thank you so much, man. Great content. Number one gaming podcast around. Another one saying that. It's a little crazy, but we do appreciate it.
We say it enough and it'll be true.
Say it enough and it'll be true. Obi-Wan FTW says when they gave the X specs, it was more than a year, and that is true. They did come out and say 6 teraflops. It came out at 1170, whatever, 1172 core clock, I think, or something like that, and it was exactly 6 teraflops, which is kind of curious. What do you think? All right, D-Bad died. Anyway,
sorry, what did you say? Sorry.
I said, what do you think about that? You think they're going to come out and say a number of the C3 like they did in 2016 and then nail it the next year?
You talking about the T-flops? It's hard to say. It's hard to say because if Brad's saying that these guys are that Microsoft's just getting these chips now, that means they're nowhere close to getting the final numbers. I think we'll probably get like similar to what Sony said, like, we're going to have a Ryzen 8 core chip. We're going to have the most powerful Navi GPU that's available or something like that. But it's quite possible that we're not going to get hard numbers.
Yeah, could be. At the end of the day, that's very, very interesting. Brad, anything else? I mean, I don't like holding you here for like the whole show because we do ramble on about random things, but anything else that you kind of wanted to talk about before we kind of send you on your way? Once again, guys, his link is down below.
Yeah, the thing to take away from all this is Phil's vision starting to materialize, right? It typically takes about 3 years in the gaming space for somebody like Phil to kind of make his footprint, right? You can make the quick, easy decisions, but this is his strategy that he laid out many, many years ago about Game Pass, about PC Game Pass, about building one game, about building more powerful consoles, about building the best experience for gamers. And so this E3, I'm going to be watching like really damn close, more so than the others, because you're going to get to see Phil basically announce his roadmap that he laid out. And it's exciting stuff. I mean, you can just look at the stuff that they're going to talk about this week. It's going to be nuts. And I think I've heard time and time again from other insiders that the third-party experience on stage at this E3 is much closer to that of the Xbox 360 era rather than the Xbox One era, which if you guys go back in time, back to that, it was all third parties because Microsoft had all the hype. And I think we're going to be returning to that starting with this E3.
Hey, David Robinson in the super chat says shout out to the RDX cast for holding it down. Dealer Brad, Tim Dog, D Zalker, Beastfire, all the best podcasts ever. Thank you so much.
Number one podcast.
Hey, Mr. Buster Palmer also says, with all the power, will Microsoft stick with a vapor cool? That's a good question because they are moving down to 7 nanometer, which is extremely important for the size and the heat and the power consumption. But they're also going to be ramping that up to a higher clock than what the X has, I would guess.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to cool that somehow. That's a very good point, Buster Palmer. I actually talked about that the other day on a different podcast. No clue yet, but they could come out with some kind of crazy closed loop thing. You never know. We've also got Key. He says, Brad, have you ever heard of Microsoft on Sony? Microsoft of Sony having insiders in each. Oh, are there insiders in each other's companies, like some James Bond shit, Brad?
Like the counter espionage. I'm sure it is happening.
They're coming out with deodorant, Sony, body wash, all of it. like, do you think there's some guy in there leaking what Microsoft are doing? You think to Sony directly?
So I would rephrase that. I bet on the AMD side there is.
So you think an AMD like, hey, this is what they're rolling with, this many CUs and all that?
Yeah.
Like it's the same guys in the meetings, right? You go to a chip meeting. There's only so many people at AMD building chips who can have those discussions. Like it's got to have leaked out, like accidentally or whatever. I mean, there's only one company building the graphics and processor for both devices. You got to think that it goes on.
So, like after a meeting, the Sony guys are walking by the Xbox guys. AMD's like, "You're my number one customer. Come in." Like the next guy's my number one customer. That's basically what's happening.
Yep. Yeah, somebody's getting extra fruit baskets at Christmas, right? Because little wink, wink, nudge, nudge thing going.
Nudge, nudge. There's a prototype in the basket. Eat the apples.
Yeah.
Mr. Buster Palmer also hope to see Cyberpunk gameplay. Join the club, man. They did say that a 2019 release was unrealistic. We all knew that. I'm saying early 2021, honestly. We've also got the Artigan. Maybe I'm just mispronouncing that. He says on the chat's moving. I bet they'll have a dev kit to show Halo Infinite. Also, RDNA will be used to compete with complete game changer for the whole of gaming.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Dev kit a year off. Trying to think if they had those for the X about a year off. I don't think they really had dev kits out there. But I think that Brad's probably right. They built a PC kind of like when Metro was on the stage last year, or was that 2017? 2017. And they said, look, this is a PC we built to represent Xbox One X. And nobody believed them. Nobody believed Xbox One X could pump out something to look that good. The game comes out and it looks exactly like that, pretty much, at full native 4K, according to Digital Foundry, right? And that's the best looking game of all time, in my opinion. So, I mean, it's not unheard of at all. Definitely not. But also, Brad, what do you think about this Fable leak? Did you hear about this crap?
So I've read a little bit about it. I know that there's a Fable game in the works. I've heard that from multiple people.
I mean, that's pretty common knowledge right now, right? Like there is a Fable game that's coming.
Yeah,
at some point.
So I don't quite know. I can't comment on the accuracy of the leaks that came out, other than the fact that I have definitely heard that a Fable game is being developed under the Microsoft direction.
Well, I'll comment on it, and we did earlier. It's bullcrap. The leak is insane. Everything's destroyed by an asteroid. They go to a different planet. Like it's ridiculous. But we do know it's coming. I'm not so sure why some people are like, nah, I don't think so. But yeah, from everything we've heard, it's definitely going to be a thing. But yeah, Brad, if you don't have anything else to say, man, thank you so much for showing up and kind of giving us the latest on your opinions and your thoughts on all this stuff, man. Again, shout out to the chat. Over 1,000 people watching. If you're here, hit that like button. Maybe share this where you share things. I'd say we got the best topics to come. But again, Brad, thanks for showing up and telling us what you know and what you've heard, man.
Yep, thanks for the invite, guys. I'm gonna sign off here in a minute and head out on vacation tomorrow. Everybody enjoy E3. I think this is gonna be one for the record books.
We definitely will.
All right, later.
Have a good one, man.
Later.
See you, Brad.
Enjoy vacation.
Take care, Brad.
You got a bunch of
I'm trying to get through them actually, but yeah, I mean,
Hey guys, where does this? I get a lot of comments on my video about like the specs, predictions and leaks. A lot of people tell me that the PS5 is going to be 14 teraflops. when we talk about the possibility, Brad did a good job calling me out about like talking about what specs we think the consoles are going to be. I did a video saying it's going to be around 11, and I'm saying it's a prediction. I think the number is going to be close. But then I get people who just counter that with like, oh, it's the Anaconda is going to be weaker than the PS5. It's going to be 14.
Yeah.
Where did that number come from?
I got something to say about that. Like my boss, who's a casual gamer, okay, he doesn't follow any of the news and stuff, but occasionally he'll watch a video here and there. And he told me the other night, he goes, you know, the PS5 is going to be 14 teraflops. and I looked at him and I go, where did you hear that number? And he goes, it's already been confirmed. And I'm like, from who?
Wes Webb. Wes Webb told me.
So I mean, I don't know where these gamers are getting this info, but I mean, it's trickling down to casuals. And so I don't know where 14 teraflops is coming from. I have no idea.
Yeah. Oh, Face 23 BK, I call him Face Brody. I don't know what it is. He says it was the rumored dev kit was 13 teraflops. So everyone's just rounding up, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, the dev kit's going to be faster than the retail unit for one.
What was the dev kit on the Scorpio?
6.4.
And it ended up being 6.
Yeah.
So I don't know where in the world they think that 13 is a viable number.
Maybe that 14 is some rapid pack math going on. You know, I don't know.
You know, consider this. Half the people that are saying 14 teraflops also said 8.2 teraflops of PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
And that includes some people that have YouTube channels. Oh, it's so accurate. I use them as a source. Well, motherfucker told you PS4 Pro had 8.4 teraflops 8 months ago, a year ago. So
that's fine. Power doesn't matter either way, right, guys?
Yeah, unless you have it.
Why do they want the 14 teraflops, Tim? If power, it means nothing now, right?
Oh, it's once they find out that that's a complete lie, then it's back to it's about the games. Listen, power's a big deal.
Yeah,
people go crazy over power. It's like horsepower on a car. When you get up to 500, it really doesn't matter, but people still want the 550 over the 530. That's just the way it is. But for me personally, I think Brad brought up some great points is how they're testing the yields and the chips. I guess the reason why they might have had specs with X was because they were working with mid-gen console, something that they had already created. This is kind of a different animal to tackle, I bet. So they probably are testing phases. I don't see if they're hitting 12 teraflops on a Navi-based system. That's very impressive. I think it's going to be around the 11.5 area. I think that the one pace bin was very interesting, even though it was, you know, the one that Colt made his video about. But you know, the 11.1 and the 4.98, those numbers to me make sense. I don't see 14 area. People are like 15 or bust. I mean, I just don't. I just think when you're in that vicinity, listen, Red Dead Redemption 2 was done at native 4K on a 6 teraflop GPU. If you're double that power, if you're an 11.5 area, I mean, you're just in a crazy area. So there is a little bit of overkill, I think, unless you're trying to achieve 8K, which I don't think any of these consoles are going to touch.
8K is years. Anyone that's saying 8K is anytime soon, I don't see 8K coming until at least 3 years from now to be feasible at maybe 60 frames per second.
At 30, who knows?
And that's on the high-end PC side.
Yeah.
So, and we are dealing with APUs here, people, in boxes that have 250-watt power supplies. Okay, you got to keep all that heat down. What are AMD capable of producing on an APU side? Anyway, their desktop GPUs, they're barely 13, 14 teraflops, right? And that's 300 watts by itself. So we gotta really consider that kind of stuff. You know, I think over and over, and this is why I don't report on the same fucking leaks over and over, because I've already said it. Plan on about double the power of the X on the high end, and with the Lockhart somewhere around 4.5 to 5, somewhere around there. I don't think the GPU will be faster than the X on the Lockhart.
All gamers should really be concerned with next generation is good exclusives from Xbox and 4K 60. That's all we really need.
Yeah, and you know what? Shout out to some of the frauds that are in the chat talking about how power doesn't matter. Guys, it doesn't matter that the X hasn't won NPDs because it's more powerful than anything. Of course, software is always king, but damn it, power does matter for anybody.
Hang on, there are people talking about NPDs knowing that the X is more expensive than the Pro and all that stuff. I mean, Spider-Man, God of War, like, are you guys idiots? Are you telling me that the X and the Pro had the same damn games? They were the same price. The Pro with 2 less teraflops would outsell the fucking X.
But let me tell you something. Those of you out there saying the power doesn't matter, you're the same people in comments saying that the PS5 is going to be more powerful than the Xbox. What are you talking about?
The level of hypocrisy.
Hey, give a like for Fonzarelli's destruction of these frauds in the trap.
That is destruction right there. So true. That's the whole thing. It's the 13 teraflops, and then they find out, and then it's evolution to MPD. You know what I mean? That's the argument.
You know what, Tim? You haven't seen destruction till you watch my video tomorrow. Another shameless plug.
We get it, Fuccarelli. All right.
Well, I mean, what's left when all these games are going to go to multiple devices? You know, they can't hide their exclusive behind their plastic. So, like, the only thing left they have is MPD. Like, it's ridiculous.
Sounds like it hears Zucker's ha ha in the background.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to get to this damn super chat. Shadow Reaver, he said he had a question for Brad. D, I'll let you tackle this one as I kind of search these other ones down. Do you think the chiplets plus Infinity Fabric or monolithic for the next gen Xbox?
That's a tough one. Just because it's got Ryzen 3000, I'm gonna say it's gonna be chiplet. I think it's gonna be a chiplet design. I'm really interested in what's gonna be in these consoles because the RDNA architecture, it removes a lot of bottlenecks that they had before, so they can really scale up these GPUs where before, they were stuck at 64 CUs as the maximum. They're not stuck at that anymore. They can scale it really up. So I'm really interested in the specs of the system. Yesterday at the Apple keynote address, we saw that they announced the world's most powerful GPU, an AMD Pro Vega 2 Duo, and it's basically 2 GPUs on the Infinity Fabric. But one of those GPUs alone is 14.7 teraflops on 7 nanometers, and we all know that Navi's better than Vega. So, man, I just can't wait to see the specs, man. I'm tired of speculating. Just give me some details.
Yeah, I got to shout out to Xbox for Life. Thank you so much, Clintz. As well as, let me scroll here. This is kind of getting crazy here. Jay Blaze, he said, what do you think of the new Call of Duty crossplay? Zalker, crossplay on a big game like this, your thoughts?
I actually think it's a good thing. And we all saw it coming. I mean, Sony was kind of begrudgingly dragging their feet for crossplay, but everybody was pushing for it, and it's coming. And I think it's going to be awesome. I love being able to play with my friends on whatever platform they're on. That's all I want to do is just play my games however the fuck I want to play them. I don't need them to be closed off by some stupid company that wants people to buy their system so they can play that game on that system. It's dumb. It's anti-consumer. So good shit on Call of Duty. Activision, actually doing something consumer friendly. And yeah, I'm excited for it, man. I mean, the game does look cool. I won't like, it looks all right. But again, people, temper expectations. It's just a fucking Call of Duty game.
Exactly. Jordan in the super chat, Tim. So did they officially cancel Phantom Dust or is that reboot still happening? If you remember, they let that other team go because they weren't satisfied with the product, just like Scalebound.
Yeah, that's all gone. They're not approaching that. They came out with the game. Remember after that whole fiasco, and then they came out with the game with redesigned assets. They kind of wanted to see if it. Always the pitch when it came out on 360 was there was a game ahead of its time. So they always wanted to see if the game would take off now when it's in its time, and it kind of didn't. And I don't see any kind of reboot or any kind of connecting with that at all.
Shane in the super chat says second best podcast, just behind Flip Flop. All right, Shane, you're being messy, brother.
By the way, I just want to say about that cross-play with Modern Warfare. It came out today that you won't be putting a game with PC players with mouse and keyboard. It's only going to be using, like, if the PC player is using a controller, it'll detect that, and that's who you'll play against.
100% for that option as long as the gamers are given a choice. ASQD Gaming says the results don't lie. Metro Exodus and Red Dead Redemption 2 on the X are two of the most beautiful games of all time. Yes, and they both run native 4K. 8 million pixels of glory, Colt Eastwood. I said glory. So
Mike's here.
Mike's here.
He just threw a little wave sign emoji. Hey! Is it fake, Mikey Bar? I don't know.
I'm like one of the chat. Mikey Bar, I'm sorry, but there are literally, you have so many doppelgangers, so many changeling versions of yourself running around. I don't know which one's the real Mikey Bar anymore.
With the real Mikey Bar.
Maybe you can message Mikey Bar. I can message Mikey Bar and ask him, but if it is the real Mikey Bar, shout out to you, brother. But yeah, that was a great
Yes.
ASQ. Say what, Tim?
No, that is the real one.
Okay, cool. Everyone give Mikey Bar a thumbs up in the chat. Of course, as always, if he wants to jump in, he's more than welcome.
Of course.
But yeah, no pressure. The change from the Xbox app on the PC, Tim, did you hear about that rebrand?
What, the Garrison, or what was? Oh, the it's now called Xbox Companion. Is that what you're talking about?
Xbox Console Companion app.
Yeah, that's on the PC end. I guess they're renaming the PC, and it's supposedly for features. That's what I heard. I saw that tidbit of news today. Mike's probably yelling at me right now. He's like, he doesn't know what it is.
This is you know what? It's just such an exciting week, isn't it, Tim? Such an exciting week.
Honestly, I'm listen, I'm like right now in mode. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to like go to an IV place and get some. I gotta do this for a week, and it's gonna be crazy. It's just right now the heat is on, and a lot of positivity. The show is blowing up. 1,000 people, almost 1,100 people. Everyone's loving the chat. You can't even read the chat because it's like it's just going too fast.
Are you going to E3? Are you going to E3, Tim? You're going, right?
Yeah.
I feel like Tim's going to see Colt and yell and slap the shit out of him. Let's get ready. Colt's knocked out in the corner. Colt's just knocked out in the corner.
Yeah. So we'll be being in the heat, but it's going to be so much fun, and I can't wait.
Shout out to Monkey Punch in the chat as well. Mr. Buster Palmer says, if they don't bring back the old chat rooms in the new Call of Duty, are you even playing it?
Ooh.
That was a big part of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, right? Call of Duty 4.
Yes, being able to talk trash to your opponents before you got in. Those lobbies were amazing. They were the best.
Yes, they were. Colt Eastwood, are you there, buddy?
I'm here, yeah.
What do you think about that new body wash? Are you picking some up?
That's weird.
Explain that. Like, is that like available?
Wait a second. Is that a real thing? I thought
that is real, Pat. You're supposed to be the best of us.
Last I heard, it's
talented.
Last I heard, it's exclusive in Australia. I don't know.
Really?
You know what? I've got that. I went to Amazon. I've got that in my cart along with the doll, the Xbox doll, and the baby in a jar from Sony. So I'm good.
Yeah, I think it's time for we gotta stop making
horrors over there. Fonz, Jesus.
Oh man, yeah, we gotta stop making toys. So we already talked about the Fable 4 thing. Completely fake. Just not even can't even conceive it. It sounds that ridiculous. Tim's texting again.
Yeah, he is fucking guy. He's like,
it's to me.
Oh, it's you.
Oh, Tim.
Hey, just so you guys know, Avengers is confirmed for E3 2019. I want to throw that out there real quick.
Oh, can't wait.
Hey, do you guys think that's going to be more of like a gauntlet style top down?
No.
Open world GTA superhero shit, man.
Apparently, it's going to be. They say it's going to be like an action adventure with co-op and everything. I think it's going to be more, and you can like master abilities, combine powers. They're gonna have a bunch of heroes. There was a game, I've brought this up before, Marvel Heroes Omega, that came to the console a little later. It was on PC. It was a big MMO where you can play as every character in the Marvel universe, and they all had different abilities. You can level them up. And then they canceled that game, I think in 2017. Like they dropped it for some reason. And I think this game is the reason why they did it.
Dude,
because they're gonna bring all these stuff into that game.
My nipples are like ice picks right now.
Oh my god.
Better run to the fridge.
Fonz, that's wow. Ice picks. Fucker said ice picks. Stabbing through his shirt and shit. Beep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the game sounds cool. There was been some things revealed about it, like it's going to have 4-player co-op, and you're going to be able to build out your characters, and that's something that we could definitely have some fun in, huh, Colt?
Yeah, well, are they allowed to have Spider-Man in the game, or is that protected by the Sony umbrella?
I don't think it depends on if Sony allows them to have it. I don't know if I think Sony might only own the movie rights. I don't know if they own the toy rights or the game rights. So I think Marvel might be able to use whatever they want, but it does seem like from what the details say and what the leak says, which we don't know if this is 100% confirmed, is that it does seem like it's a Destiny type of game where they're going to keep adding stuff to it and keep bringing more things out for it, and you're just going to keep leveling up characters. Yes, I like co-op games. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm a big Marvel fan. I'm excited, guys. What can I say? Come on, give me a break.
Yeah, I'm fucking excited for that game a lot. I want to see it. It's one of my most anticipated games.
Yeah, it looks very interesting. I mean, anyone else got anything kind of to throw onto this? So before we move on, we got some really good topics coming up. Nobody, everyone just didn't bring any Red Bull today. I'm gonna go ahead and move us forward a little bit. Yes, Salker, you are right. Sounds awesome. I'm sure it's gonna look awesome. ASQD again, 6v6 Xbox versus PS4. You know what I had said about this a long time ago is in crossplay games, they need to have little PlayStation controllers next to people on PlayStation and Xbox controllers next to people on Xbox. And that would really drive some true competitive gameplay there. I think that'd be really awesome. Face 223, he says, power matters, but will not play a major role next gen. Both PS5 and Anaconda will output most power of all games. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I mean, it just depends, man. Power does matter. You're right. But, what console can give us those exclusive kind of proprietary features? Like we know they're going to have SSDs. Who's going to develop those kind of features that we really like maybe a physics-driven chunk of cores in the GPU that can give us some really cool physics stuff like that.
Mikey Barr is asking you a question, Dealer. He said, will you be at E3?
Not this year, Mikey Barr.
Or fake Mikey Barr, we don't know.
Let's not get it twisted too. Like, some people are just into the more powerful consoles, despite, how much more powerful they are. Listen, like for me, I can only speak for myself. I have to get, the console that's most powerful to play these multi-plat games because that's where I want to play them. Like that, I want to see the best representation I can outside of PC. I hate having to say that, but I'm a console gamer, so I want to have the most powerful console for my multi-plats, and that is every generation.
Well, you're not alone, Fonz. Remember when Red Dead came out, that IGN guy saw the X with freaking Red Dead and he drop kicked his PS4 Pro out of the way and put his X there and started freaking playing. He started all over after 15 hours.
Yeah. Oh, the Red Dead 2 on the X, between the X and the Pro, is night and day. I don't care what people say. It's a complete difference. And I'm not the only one saying that. There's others that have seen it and are saying the same thing. It's night and day.
Yeah. Well, once again, we have over 1,000 people watching. Hit that like button, and we do appreciate it. Mikey Barr, hit that like button, bro. And of course, maybe share this for you guys. Share things. We do appreciate it. But yeah, once again, a lot of cool stuff, man. A lot of cool stuff. Here's what we do know for sure is coming to E3, right? This is stuff that's kind of been already put out there. Actually, you know what? Did we cover games with gold? Like, should we even cover that?
Nope.
Let us know in the chat.
Who gives it?
The only game worthwhile mentioning, in my opinion, is the NHL 19. That's a fantastic.
There you go. NHL 1919.
Go
Download
get it
for
right
free.
now.
The Canadian plugged it. We got it. Let's go.
Oh my god! Leave Canada out of this, soccer. How about that?
You hoser.
Yeah. But
Don't talk like that.
Batman said, no, please, no. Yeah, we're not going to cover games with gold. Fine, we won't cover games with gold. We tried. Phil Spencer, 14 Xbox studio games at E3. This is big, though we also know that many of these are already released games. I talked about this in my last video as well. Colt Eastwood, what are you expecting to see here? How many of these games do you think will be new, and what are you thinking will return?
I think 2, maybe 3 are new. I kind of put out a cursory list that had Sea of Thieves, which we're hearing Sea of Thieves won't be on the stage. So Wasteland 3, Outer Wilds. But, people are saying that what Phil Spencer's tweet said, first-party games from our Xbox Game Studios, right?
Yeah.
And
Xbox Game Studio.
And you can't call Wasteland 3 or Outer Wilds
Outer Worlds?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. You can't call
You're doing it again. You're trying to trick everybody.
You're using your trickery.
Loki.
Anyway, the point is there's about 5 games that you could fill in the blanks. Mm-hmm. And I think a couple of those may be represented on stage from Xbox Game Studios. So that could be DLC or being shown some other way. But I think that's my take is 2 or 3 games we haven't heard of.
Beltram, I'm guessing that's how you say that. He says, you think Netflix will announce their new mode for Xbox, their theater mode? I don't know anything about that, honestly.
We know Netflix will be at E3 apparently, right? So we don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, that's interesting, that one.
Yeah. Also, Tim, what was I going to ask you? Damn it, I just had this. Mikey Barge. What's with this emoji? Yeah, Tim, what are your thoughts on some of the new stuff that they could potentially show off on that stage? And also, just because it's not made by an Xbox game studio, right? One of the 13 studios they own, doesn't mean it's not a third party like Piranha Games, right?
Right. It could be a new acquisition, or it could be Ori. I mean, I think that Brad, he mentioned 3 new IPs. I think that if they do that, that's very good. So I'm hoping for that number. Obviously, you can have DLC and stuff like that on certain existing games, but it says a lot for their first party, because 2 years ago they were in a really bad position with first party, and they turned it around. And this is the first part where you're really going to start to see the fruits of labor. I think next year, and I know no one wants to hear that, but I really do think next year they're going to be so well positioned with a lot of their studios now up and running for 2 years, hiring all and everywhere over the footprint. We're in store for a lot of games, and I have to say, thank you to Xbox for going after that, because there was a time where I think there were people questioning that, including myself, but there's no question anymore. 14-0.
Oh, jeez.
14-0.
14-0.
The reason I bring up Piranha Games is because they've met with Microsoft 5 or 6 times to talk about a MechWarrior port and other things they can't discuss with what they said, right? Meaning they've got other things in store that obviously would not be one of the would not be one of the 14. It's not an Xbox game studio game.
Right, well, I don't know how they're working it. Is Ori going to be considered first party? Because I know they consider games that are made by them first party, but that is not really an Xbox game studio. That is an independent studio. So that's going to all see how that fleshes out too. Like, I don't know how that's all going to be.
Yeah, let us know what you think in the chat. Go ahead, Fonz.
No, I was saying that's interesting if Ori 2 is going to be counted as one of the 14, because I'm sure they're going to show that off at E3. I mean, we're all waiting for that. I mean, I am.
It's published by Microsoft, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of them.
Hey, I got to give a shout out to Kid Smooth as well. What's going on, brother? Also, let me see here. Yeah,
you got to add Minecraft to that list.
I've got a super chat there I'd like to read.
Go ahead.
Face 23 BK New York or Brooklyn, New York. I don't know what it is. Why are people championing game streaming? AKA not owning your games. DRM, always online at the mercy of your internet. At the end of game preservation, use games. Okay, first of all, Xcloud has nothing to do with not owning your games. As far as we know, or as far as we're predicting, Xcloud will be playing the games you already bought. Right, panel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, so far.
So, and then as far as DRM is on just about every current modern game out there. PC, console, disc-based. There's DRM and all that stuff. Always online. Aren't we always online anyway?
I mean, you're going to have to be online to stream. Well, my question is, do you have a problem with PS Now? Because they tried to do this years and years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Microsoft is just trying to do it the right way, the better way. With less
people have this problem with always online. I don't want always online. Like the last time my internet was totally down where I couldn't use it, it was because my power was down.
You know what it is.
How often is your internet down where I just can't game and I don't know what
it comes down. It comes down to just people being worried that it's going to take over traditional hardware, and it's not happening. People, you're still going to have your consoles, your precious little plastic box, and you're not going to have a problem with it. Okay, so I mean, it's an option at the end of the day. Option. That's what you guys have to understand. It's not that we're championing game streaming. I'm not a huge fan of streaming any games, but the point is, I don't care. I have my traditional box. These companies are going to make more money that they can just take to reinvest into more software, which is what I care about at the end of the day. So yes, make as much money as you want, doing whatever you want, as long as I get my games on traditional hardware.
The same exact argument that people had against Netflix. It's literally the same thing. And at the end of the day, convenience is. I don't plan on ever streaming.
To be honest, it's not just that. It's because it's Microsoft doing this. That's what it comes down to.
Because Sony already tried to do it, right? Like a long time ago.
But now that Microsoft's in the game and they're really pushing this, oh no, it's bad. It's ridiculous. Like, come on, guys, stop thinking like fanboys and start thinking like real gamers.
Ben in the super chat, will Anaconda have AI learning / machine learning? That could be very interesting because Microsoft are huge into AI right now. So, yeah, go ahead, D.
I would say so for sure because they're going to be using the cloud, and there's no way that the cloud doesn't have AI in there for machine learning. So I would say yes, and also too we've seen some of the codes from Navi, so there's some instructions in there. So yeah, I think it'll have machine learning.
Fonz, I just made you a moderator again. Comment again so I can double check.
Fonz is on fire today.
Also, Jim, I don't know if you got my message. Check your stuff.
It's not fire. It's common sense.
You're just on fire. I'm sorry.
You're on fire, Fonz.
You really are. I'm a little scared.
There we go. All right, I got you moderated up. You can. Fonz is going to drop a link to his channel. Go ahead and click that and subscribe to him real quick. But
thank you, man.
Yeah, I'd like to go ahead and move forward. This is pretty interesting stuff. The 14 and all that stuff, it's all great. But I want to get into what we know will be there, what's actually been confirmed to be there. And this is by the developer, right? It's not like a leak or anything. So Gears of War 5, we already know. Star Wars, the last, who knows what the hell it's called. What's it called? The Jedi.
The Jedi Fallen Order.
Gears 5, Star Wars, Halo Infinite, Ori 2 will be there. I'm pretty sure that was actually confirmed. Shenmue confirmed for E3 2019. My question is it going to be at Microsoft stage or is it going to be in like a YouTube stage or why? It's kind of odd that Shenmue is showing up there when Sony isn't doing the E3, but is it a third party multi-plat? Like what's going on? Colt, what do you think?
I don't care.
What do you mean?
Wasn't it the one that was crowdfunded? Wasn't it the one that was crowdfunded?
That's the one Sony asked everyone at their E3 to crowdfund.
They announced it. People started crying and wailing their arms around. They're like, "Go on and crowdfund it!" And they ran off the stage. Or something.
Are you talking about
the last one? But I love this.
Are you talking about Shenmue 3?
Yeah.
It's been delayed. Today we just found out it's being delayed. It's not ready yet.
Philosopher Doom says Dying Light 2.
Hey, I'm the only one here that's into Shenmue. I'm waiting for that game actually. So
did you crowdfund it? Did you put your 20 down?
No, I'm not doing any of that.
You're on my watch list now. You're waiting for that game? That's so weird.
Yeah, no. I really like Shenmue. Shenmue was a great game to me.
What was so great about it? It always looks really weird to me. Not saying it's bad.
It was a great big open world where it was the first time you were able to do so many different things within that open world that was almost like real life. I mean, you can go buy a Coke in the soda machine and you can go play arcade games at the arcade, and stuff like that. It let you do so many different things. It was so wide open. It had a good story too. I really enjoyed it.
So you can buy a Coke in the soda machine? Jesus, fucking riveting.
No, I'm saying it had a good story, but you could do like so many things. It was the first game that allowed you to do so many like real world things that you wouldn't, think of
Just
as that
interact with things that didn't really matter. Is that what you're talking about?
It was crazy back then.
Didn't matter.
Fonz, West Webb wants to know if you bought a 900p over a 1080p game.
Of course not, and that's what I said. Traditional hardware for me will always be king, and I'm gonna keep buying the more powerful consoles because I want that version on my consoles.
Well, that's my thing. Like West Webb, are you buying a 1080p PS4 Pro game or a 1440p game over a 4K Xbox One X game? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So it's weird to me. Like,
no, I mean West Webb's more than likely buying multi-plats on the PlayStation, even though he's excited to spend $10 on Game Pass to play Xbox games on PC.
He has PC. Come on. He has
yeah.
PC. He's running everything at Ultra 18,000K. He's
playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Far Cry 5 and all those games on his PS4. So people play on the platform that they enjoy, the controller they're comfortable with, the group of friends they're with, the features that they like. And that may be PC, that may be Xbox, that may, if you're looking at Red Dragon's poll, it's overwhelmingly the Xbox platform.
Red who?
I can't remember.
Scary thumbnails.
Oh, yeah. We've also got the Evil Within creator confirming that he's going to be at E3 as well. There's a ton of stuff, man, including what kind of came out today. Watch Dogs Legion. Did any of you guys keep up with this? Did you look at this?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, you can play as like any NPC in the game. Apparently, like there's a bunch of shit. Like they're changing it up a lot. Like it was kind of confusing. Like I don't get like what you're gonna do if you play as every NPC. Like what do you like? I don't know. Is that how you escape? Like you're gonna be like the agent from Matrix, just switching people? Like what the fuck?
Wait a minute, Doctor. Is this like? Is this part 3? Is this?
I mean, they're
The
just
third?
calling it. They're not saying 3. They're saying Watch Dogs Legion is the name.
Did they say anything about the characters, like the story? Because the last story, I just could not get into those hipster characters, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I beat the game, but yeah, I was the same way. I didn't like the characters.
Yeah, I didn't.
I'm most excited about that other third-party game, Cyberpunk 2077, to be honest. Like, I can't wait to see what they show, especially if they're saying it's going to drop in early 2020. I can't wait.
Also, I heard that it looks completely different from what we saw.
What I hear.
I mean, let's not say completely. I mean, that demo they showed, that 48-minute demo. I mean, if you looked at the draw distance, it looked like a fucking 360 game. So I hope it looks a little different. And I know it's a huge game and it looks amazing. And CD Projekt Red, a lot of people trust them. But if I'm not able to get a Coke from a goddamn vending machine, I don't know.
I'm with Docker. Like Cyberpunk, had this really bustling city, but the visuals didn't blow me away like I thought they would. I don't know. It does look like a super cool game, but I mean, they were like, well, this is running on a high-end PC. I'm like, is it? I mean, it doesn't look all that intensive, but
that's why they warned us, right? They said, hey, this is subject to change. It said 18 times in 48 minutes. They beat it over the head, hey, this is subject to change. Do not think that this is the game.
Yeah, I mean, and it's going to be cool. It's going to be incredible. I cannot wait. I was just telling somebody the other day, I can't wait for another Fallout game, because I want a game like Cyberpunk where you're in that world, you're rooting around in drawers and leveling up your character and your weapons. We haven't had something like that in a while.
Yeah. Midway in the super chat says, if Lockhart has no disk drive, then won't that stunt sales? We don't know if it had a disk drive. I think to get the price as low as possible, they should ditch the disk drive, because I think people would because more and more people are going digital every day. We see these comparisons and these numbers. Wow, it's all more digital than physical, blah 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 blah. And that price point is a big deal. So if it very well most likely will have a disk drive.
Yeah,
but, I mean, if it doesn't, you can save a little bit more money that way, and they can get that even lower, right?
I think the Xbox All Digital Edition is probably not selling very well, so I think that's a good indication that in a year.
But it's also not at the price it's supposed to be at.
It's not. It's what is it priced at right now? It's $250.
It's 50. I went to the Microsoft store. In Canada,
yeah, it's $50 cheaper than the S.
Yeah,
it's $249, and the S is $299. But if you leave the Microsoft store and look everywhere else, it's not the right deal to make. So, I was telling people asked me, do you really think they'll do the Lockhart without a disk drive? And I'm thinking, probably not. I think the sales will tell them not to.
Yeah,
and that's where sales matter.
It's a good question, Midway. It's a very good question. Hey, let's go ahead and move forward. Watch Dogs Legion. I'm not really sure, man. 2 wasn't really all that interesting to me. I didn't really care for beating somebody up with a yo-yo or whatever the hell that was. I wasn't really feeling it, and the story and stuff. But maybe this next one, who knows? I mean, they went from what they were making to Odyssey, right? So Odyssey is really, really good. Xbox, the next Xbox is awesome across the board, according to Todd Howard. He thinks that no one is screwing up this time around, and he feels as though they have learned their lessons from the past. And keep in mind that this guy, it's
coming from Todd Howard. That's hilarious. Yeah, they learned their lessons.
Keep in mind that before Fallout 76, Todd Howard was a pimp. Come on.
Okay, but have they learned from their lessons, Bethesda? I mean, come on, it's fun.
I have no choice but to the fallback.
It's hilarious though. Hilarious.
Well, Jez just tweeted. Sorry, Tim. Jez just tweeted that apparently Todd Howard knew that Fallout 76 wasn't going to launch very well, and that he's lost a lot of respect for him because of that. And he basically made the users of Fallout 76 $60 beta testers for a game. And a lot of people are very pissed off about it. And they just basically put a lot of pressure on the developers instead of delaying it to just fix it as fast as they can.
He did say that at E3 that year, though. He said that, I guess that was that beta. He said the Break It. What was it the beta stood for? the Break It edition. Oh my gosh. And then they just turned around and released it that way. I was really bummed because I was really looking forward to that game.
And I think that's a real slap in the face I'm not a fan of the game, but I know it has a huge following, and that's a slap in the face to all those consumers, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I still like Todd Howard, and that is, we had told people that were buying Fallout 76, look, They already told you the game is never going to be finished. Like, it's going to be in beta testing the whole time it's out. They actually said that before it came out. Remember? Like, we did cover that. And we were like, that's why me and Colt didn't really buy it. We were wanting to buy it, but we didn't buy it because we knew the game didn't look finished. It looked like it was really in beta testing, and it looked like a big beta for another Elder Scrolls or Fallout's multiplayer. And I understand they put a lot of resources into making that, whereas a normal beta, you take something from a game and, you know, that you're building anyway, where they went out and built a map and systems and all that. I'm not justifying the price. $20 maximum. But at the end of the day, you're a beta tester, and that didn't go well. But I remember a lot of people damage control Fallout 76 as well.
Yeah, I just don't know why people were expecting. Like, have you not played a Bethesda game before? Like, Skyrim, it's an amazing game, but when that thing launched, it had a shit ton of bugs. I was being launched into the stratosphere by giants.
The
like, bugs, I don't know if you guys remember that.
Bugs weren't the biggest gripe with Fallout 76. It was the pointless gameplay, no life or no emotion or feeling in the story. It was all tied to reading computers. Like, it had the bugs. The bugs were awful more than anything. Yeah, for sure. But you couldn't power through it because the game wasn't enjoyable to play on its own merits, which sucks.
Yeah, the biggest gripe was no NPCs. I remember that.
Yeah,
it did make the game feel lifeless to some people. So,
and I don't gripe about games. If it's not my thing, I just move on. But like, I was really excited for Fallout 76 when they showed it, that it was like a first person, like a full game with your friends. And a dealer and I both that same day, we both canceled our pre-orders, and I felt bad doing that. Like, I felt bad that I wasn't supporting this series I loved. And
they just missed
developer I loved.
They just missed the mark. They should have made it a Fallout game with NPCs, story play. You could play it single player, or you could play it co-op with like 3 or 4 buddies. Yeah. That's what they should have done with the game, instead of making it this big open world semi MMO game, which those are really hard to like hit and make actually hit with the customer. I don't know. Like, I just never seen a semi MMO really launch and just take off and be like.
There's only a couple, really standout MMOs that have gone through the times, but we should move on because this will put people to sleep.
Hey, Tim Dog, David Robinson says OG Xbox was powerful. 360 fell back a little bit. Xbox One X, most powerful console ever. The next Xbox never fall back again. I mean, do you think? I think he's got a point there, Tim Dog. I think he can. He's reading the future. He's got his crystal ball out, Tim.
Yeah, I think they learned their lesson in 2013, and I don't think that's ever going to happen again. And it's because of people like Mike, who's a true gamer, and he's a PC guy. He always loves power and stuff like that. So, I don't think that as long as the people that they have there now are still there, they're always going to be very powerful console.
Yeah. It's they got the resources. They might as well just go through with it, nail it down, lock it down. You got the power narrative and all that stuff. But yeah, Todd basically, and keep in mind, Todd knows way more than anyone we've ever talked to about this stuff, right? He's in the industry. They're close with Microsoft. I think he knows exactly where they're going with this thing. And he's saying, hey, look, nobody's making a mistake like they did before. He thinks everyone is on the right track. They've got capable hardware. I've said it a million times. I think this will be the most balanced system of all time. You won't really have bottlenecks that are nearly as noticeable anywhere. But, you have to do weird things to kind of find them. But PS5, according to this new patent, they're going to be running legacy software a lot faster than the original. Like, this is exactly what they're doing, Tim. They're taking what Xbox One X did, and they're doing it for PS4 games on PS5 and PS2 games.
Exactly. I mean,
the blueprint's out there, right?
Right, exactly. They're just and people who said these older games didn't matter. That was the damage control of the flavor of that month. Obviously, games are games. They're classics are classics. You know what I mean? If you can get the
Tim, the head of Sony said that himself, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He did.
What was it that he said? What did he say, Bob?
What is his exact quote?
I don't know the exact quote, but it was that nobody wants.
Nobody cares about old games.
They look like crap. They look like crap. And he also said that, you know, they're going to be the only one that does like the traditional console next generation. But then now he's saying that the streaming is going to be coincided with the console and it's just as important. Nobody knows what the fuck's going on over there. Like, honestly, they keep tap dancing around and saying shit. Then like 6 months later, they say something else.
And then
like, what the hell's happening?
6 months later, they join with Azure and, you know, the rest born.
It's funny what we're talking about, but you know, we're so always everyone, even the fanboys and Xbox people, are always so focused on Xbox, always. But if you do look at their side of the thing, they had the guy that came in, Kudera, John Kudera. He was like there for a year and a half. Then I went back to Jim. They're saying all these things all over the place. You know, sometimes, you know, you don't focus on it, but you do look at that situation, and it's pretty weird because, you know, we're always thinking about Xbox, looking at Xbox and dissecting that. But you look at that situation, that's been all over the place the last 3 years. Think about it.
In his defense, though, I know Sony does care about graphics, and the patents kind of point to these games when they're running on the legacy games running on the PlayStation 5 that they'll actually be remastered on the fly. So that's pretty interesting.
No skill intended. He says, R.I.P. Brad. Brad never came back. Yeah, he came back. He talked some more, and then we had to send him on his way. You know, because we're talking about Xbox deodorant and shit now. So, you know. But hey, I want to thank everybody for joining us. This show's kind of running pretty long. We had a lot of stuff to talk about. Brad came on and dropped some cool stuff. If you missed Brad Sams, he was on for the whole first half of the show. And once more, guys, thank you guys so much for catching up with us. Hit that like button as we do some outros. Remember, patrons, game giveaway stuff's going up on that site. I'll try to put that up probably tomorrow. And still giving away that $100 premium edition of Mortal Kombat 11. The last guy didn't even claim it. So if you're going to take part in this, please check back on the site. Like, you know, throughout that whole next week. I usually wait a week and let everyone get their comment in. So just keep that in mind. That link's down below. We have that and several other games given away. And, of course, shout out to all the sponsors and stuff. But once more, hit that like button. Colt Eastwood, thank you so much for joining us, buddy. You sound like you're a little bit dead today, but you probably had a long day. How have you been? Where have you been? Where can people find you? And what have you been playing?
It's always a long day, but we had 1,000 people watching the show. I didn't get out the party horn like Tim. It's so cool. It's very cool to see that many people show up and listen to us, and you guys get us excited and make it fun. It's just been one of those days. But you can find me on Twitter and Xbox at Colt Eastwood and YouTube. And I'm gonna try and put together a video here in the next day or so before I leave for LA. So I'm excited. I'm gonna meet Tim there. We're gonna meet up as soon as we get into LA, and Tim's gonna kind of, you know, put me under his wing because I have no idea when I get there I'm gonna be lost. Like it's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna
have a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, it's like I've never experienced this before. I've been covering this stuff on YouTube for about 3 years on the Xbox stuff, and like just watching the past couple E3s like this closely, it's amazing that I'm actually gonna be there. So it's a big deal for me.
Hey, Colt, Tim will be wearing the Phil Dominus t-shirt.
Right.
14-0 on it.
Yeah, it's just the beginning too. So I mean, I'm sure you'll go back the next year and the one after that, and blah blah blah.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, 1 year at a time. But yes, it's gonna be really cool.
Phase 20,
you guys.
I'll definitely be coming out there next year. Phase 23 says hopes everyone has a great Xbox E3. This is our last show before E3 on Sunday, and we will be back live right after the Xbox conference. I think Rand will be joining us as well. We'll have some other people on there, but you know, that's going to be a massive show, probably the biggest show of the year. It will be the biggest show of the year. So we'll have all that information and stuff, as well as videos and all that good stuff as well. Hey, Tin Dog, buddy, where can people find you, and what have you been playing?
They can find me on Twitter. I've been a fraud, total fraud. I've been working and just getting ready for E3. So the last game I played was, I think the last time we talked was On Rush and that farm with me. Just this time of year, getting ready, getting packed, got some clothes, did this and that. Just want to say thanks to the 1,000 people showing up. Hit the like button on the way out. I cannot believe how big this show is getting, and very thankful to the people that show up. That's it. Let's just next week I'll be back after that. The dust will settle, but it's going to be a wild ride.
Yeah, Gamebridge just said that. See, on the flip side, it's going to be a wild ride. That's funny. Hey, Fonzarelli, buddy, I know you got a video coming out tomorrow. Where can people find you? What have you been playing?
Well, they can find me at The Grounded Gamer here on YouTube. Please check my channel out. I'm going to be putting out weekly content. I look, guys, I'm really rejuvenated with this new channel. I'm going to be putting out a lot more content, and I've got a great video coming out tomorrow. So I want you to check that out. It'll be out in the morning tomorrow. Anyways, find me there at The Grounded Gamer, and find me at J Fonzarelli on Twitter. And I want to thank the chat, man. The chat has been awesome, and it's just fun to just interact with you guys every Tuesday. It's amazing. So thank you guys for showing up all the time. We appreciate it.
Yeah, shout out to the moderators as well. Lethal, the captain of the mod squad. Obi-Wan, we got Winmy Good and Biggie. Those guys. Lethal also got a brand new picture as well. The T1000 or the T800 half. I think it's really cool. Colt did that for him. It looks really cool. D Batch, what have you been playing, bud, and where can people find you?
Unfortunately, I haven't been able to play anything lately. I've been going through all the new TVs that I've gotten in. So look out for those reviews in the next few weeks. You guys can catch me on YouTube at D_batch, and at Twitter at YouTube at DBatch, and at Twitter at D_batch. And I put out a video this morning just going over some of the Mac Pro specs and AMD's new GPU, which is actually the world's most powerful GPU. So you guys can check that out on my channel.
You're probably like, yes, finally, AMD. Even though they're cheating with two. What's the power draw on that fucking thing?
I think it's like 475.
That's what I was gonna say. 500 watts. It's a fuck it. And Zalker87, buddy, what have you been playing? Where can people find you, bud?
Just beat What Remains of Edith Finch, or Edith and Finch, as I called it last week, like a fraud. Just beat that. It was actually a really good game. I enjoyed the story a lot. It was fucking disturbing at some parts.
Run, little baby.
Yeah, fucking frog jumping. But yeah, that was a pretty good game. And you guys can find me at Zalker87 on Twitter and Zalker87 on YouTube. I put out daily content. I brought out a video today about the 10 most anticipated games coming to E3, no matter what publisher or platform. It's just about gaming, people. So yeah, you guys can find me there, and and here at RDX. I have a good time with everybody, and thanks, chat. You guys were fucking awesome today, including Mike Ybarra with his little wavy hand. Hand emoji. Hey guys.
Well, here's the worst part of that. I actually banned that Mike Ybarra account because I thought it was fake, and I just messaged him when he said it was him.
I knew it was him.
I looked into him, and he has 77 subs. I'm like, how could?
I knew it was him when he was talking to me about Wednesday. I saw that in the chat, and I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Dealer's such a fucking fraud.
I texted you, Tim. I said, hey, while I'm messing with these topics, message Mike and find out.
He's got like 5 videos of like random gameplay with like 80 views. I'm like, what in the world?
Well, I don't think that Mike knows how many impersonators. I don't think Mike knows how many impersonators he has.
Yeah.
I went through the band list, and there's like 8 Mike Ybarras in there, bro.
I know.
Lethal thought you knew something. Lethal's like, I saw it. I was like, what the fuck does Dealer know?
I'm sorry, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Tim's over there high on E3, and
he's Mike probably blocked me on Twitter right now. He's like,
That's weird. Mike did say a couple of questionable things that didn't sound like.
Yeah, he said, "Don't." What did he say? He said, "Don't." He said, "Todd is the Lord" or something. I was like, "That's not Mike Ybarra."
Todd is excellence or something.
Yeah, Todd is. Yeah, okay. Well, my apologies, Mike. Even though I'm.
Fraud alert.
Oh man. Hey, yeah, we got so for now on, we'll keep track of the real Mike Ybarra through his YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and you said it has 80 subs or whatever.
77, yeah.
77.
Going up now.
Nobody subscribe to Mike Ybarra. Let's leave it there so I know which one's him.
Yeah, nobody do that.
I'll go through and
78. Get rid of him.
I'll go through and unban him right after the show, and anybody else who wants to be unbanned, message me.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has like so many soccer accounts. But hey, Zalker, that's Edith and Finch. It's a good game, buddy.
It is. I had a good time, and I'm gonna start Wolfenstein or Plague Tale Innocence. I don't know, one of those next.
Well, hey, for you,
Mike.
He comes out. He's blue. He's Will Smith. Okay. Well, hey, I've been playing. I beat a Plague's Tale. I've been playing a little bit more Horizon 4, and I am just waiting for E3. Probably gonna have a video out tomorrow, maybe, or the next day. I don't know. And yeah, we're just kind of doing our thing, man. So thanks for everyone for joining us. And as always, you guys are the best chat in the universe. If you haven't already, hit the like button, share this, and subscribe. Follow these guys on the panel, and we are out. Check those links down below.
Later, everybody.
Xbox body wash.
E3.
All right.
Rand's a fraud.
Body wash exclusive.
Exclusive.
I gotta go, guys.
Zalker's ready.
Strongest